wanted you to know.
Hold on.
Why people...
No. Don't tell me what I'm going to say. Tell me about the Bilderberg Group. You know nothing about the Bilderberg Group, which your Prime Minister and your major owner of your newspapers is a member of. So's the British Prime Minister.
The media here won't cover it.
There's a conspiracy theory that a shadowy elite of bankers and businessmen and politicians and media moguls are secretly controlling the governments of the world.
They start the wars, they cause the famines, they control the governments, they choose the presidents, both candidates, they tell them what to do. They're setting up the one world order.
The theory goes that these elitists plan to create an all-powerful new world order, a world government that will destroy anyone who disobeys them.
If I could explain to you who they were from the top down, we could just get a whole bunch of rope and go hang a bunch of them.
And they're a despicable organization.
But now, some conspiracy theorists believe they've uncovered the name of the secret cabal. They say their cover is now blown, that they are called the Bilderberg Group.
We're being followed.
It is spring in Portugal, and I am being chased by unknown forces. By the henchmen of the powerful, shadowy elite known as the Bilderberg Group.
Well, we don't really know what to do, having never been followed before.
The British Embassy have washed their hands of me, and I'm finding myself out of my depth, alone, except for a cameraman and a conspiracy theorist called Big Jim Tucker, who isn't being much help.
Looks like we have a waiting game here.
What will happen next? How did I get here?
How many people in Britain have heard of the Bilderberg Group? In America, anywhere around the world? The Bilderberg Group, what's that? Well, and I understand that. No one ever talks about it, really. But I've talked to journalists about the Bilderberg Group. Bilderberg Group, what's that? I haven't got a bloody clue. So, isn't it funny that the Bilderberg Group seems to be rather influential? Tony Blair, Bilderberg Group. Gordon Brown, Bilderberg Group. Leading players in the present British government. Now, of course, the opposition chancellor to Gordon Brown was Kenneth Clark. Bilderberg Group. Let's look at the head of the World Bank, James Wolfensohn, Bilderberg Group. Let's look at the first two heads of the World Trade Organization, Peter D. Sutherland of Ireland and Renato Ruggiero of Italy, Bilderberg Group. Wherever you look, this thing comes up and no one's ever friggin' heard of it.
There's something unique about Bilderberg conspiracy theories, and that their roots can be traced back to just one man. He's the man who brought Bilderberg to the conspiracy theory world. His name is Big Jim Tucker, and he's invited me to join him while he attempts to infiltrate the Bilderberg Group.
Mother, your dutiful son is playing kick the can on Pennsylvania Avenue on Tuesday morning. Thank you.
This is Washington, D.C., where every morning Jim makes a coded telephone call to inform the outside world that the Bilderberg Group has not had him killed the night before.
I think if they ever got me, it'd be set up like a typical Washington mugging. Somebody kills somebody for a few bucks and another 3 paragraphs in the newspaper.
So it's pretty dangerous.
Well, Bilderbergs take themselves quite seriously, obviously.
Jim and his newspaper, The Spotlight, have been chasing the Bilderberg Group for 30 years, like a game of cat and mouse, Jim says, or a battle between good and evil.
There's some people who would refuse to believe. You see that among cliché liberals every day. Some people also cling to ignorance. Some people choose not to believe. It's just too uncomfortable believing that 120 of the world's most powerful men can go behind locked and guarded doors and make decisions that affect all of us.
Now, what about these people who say that the Bilderberg Group's just a social meeting?
Well, first off, you've had many newspaper editors who claim there is no Bilderberg Group and that it does not meet.
If they were just going to meet socially, they wouldn't worry about all the armed guards and so forth. They'd just play golf and swap lies and chase girls or whatever they do.
Well, we're still waiting for the world to admit that they exist.
It was hard for me to believe what the Spotlight journalists were sure of, that every major international power shift could be traced back to this group that few people have ever heard of.
I shall resign the presidency effective at noon tomorrow.
Richard Nixon was forced out of office. A lot of people say that he was lucky to have survived with his life. They expedited John F. Kennedy's removal from office, but as I say, people speculated that they decided it would be too messy to have another president shot down in the streets of an American city.
Well, there's quite a laundry list. They seem to have their evil hands in most of the upheavals of the world. The Persian Gulf War, raising taxes in America, the downfall of Lady Thatcher as Prime Minister of Britain.
Now it's time for a new chapter to open, and I wish John Major all the luck in the world.
Jim says he once sidled up to Lady Thatcher and asked her how she felt about the Bilderberg group secretly orchestrating her downfall.
And her response, to be denounced by Bilderberg, I consider a tribute. Any head of state who would surrender his sovereignty to some international organization should not be head of state. She spoke very strongly about surrendering British sovereignty to the European Union. And that's why they manipulated to kick her out and replace her with a trapeze artist from her own party. And of course now Tony Blair, who attends Bilderberg meetings and receives his orders.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.
In her going, she discovered to her cost that a British Prime Minister cannot govern without the consent and support of colleagues.
Jim says that the Bilderberg group meet once a year, always in a 5-star hotel with golfing facilities. He says they may play golf when they're there, but they're not there to play golf. His job is to find out which hotel in advance. Last week, Jim was at a function where he met an accountant who told him that one of his clients, a Bilderberg member, was off to Portugal for a private meeting.
Once you know, for instance, it's Portugal, then you set about finding what would be the likely place. It's got to be a remote resort, and then sometimes say, well, what I'm concerned about is I'm supposed to be attending a meeting of the Bilderberg group, and I want to make sure I'm going to the right place. Then they go upstairs to management. Yes, you're coming to the right place. Well, thank you, sir.
Jim says he's ready to cause some trouble. He intends to thwart Bilderberg security and charge in to confront them red-handed. He says I'm welcome to come along, just so long as I don't step on twigs while we're on the prowl. When are you going to get there?
I'll leave on the last day of this month. I'm going to try to start patrolling their resort on Sunday, figuring out ways to penetrate where the short wall is, where the big drain pipe is located. Mother, your handsome lad is dancing a macaroni in Portugal on Monday morning. I'll call you tomorrow.
Jim believes he's narrowed his search to the Caesar Park Hotel and Golfing Resort in the mountains of Sintra, near Lisbon.
A few of them might swing a golf club a little while, but I doubt if you'll see many of them on the golf course. They're going to be busy. They've got a world to run. Let's be salesmen.
Salesmen?
Yeah, but we don't really talk shop today, we say. Just to have a break, have a little fun.
But surely every undercover journalist says he's a salesman.
But it's easy to remember. If we try to be 3 different things, we get mixed up over who's who.
What do we sell?
Well, we just don't want to talk business. We're having fun. Just want to relax a little bit.
It was our first working day in Portugal. The plan was to look for the short wall and the big drain pipe in preparation for the midnight penetration later in the week.
Here it is.
We're being filmed by a security camera. So this is it, Jim?
Looks like it. Yeah, it looks like they still have civilians checking out today. Little idiot-proof camera. Got you.
Jim photographed the civilians. These photographs would later appear in the spotlight underneath the headline, "Unaware Civilians."
If If we had lunch here on Thursday, we wouldn't have to make reservations, would we?
For Thursday?
For Thursday.
Just a second. My chief is talking. Okay.
Tactically, it's important to be very ignorant, because at this level, there's people making inquiries inside the hotel. There's people inquiring.
There's a fire almost.
I was wondering if we came back for lunch on Thursday, we wouldn't have to make reservations.
Well, but it's happened one thing. The hotel is a reservation for a big group. We don't accept nobody to coming to outside for 1 week.
Oh.
Yes.
So that last...
It's exclusive for the group.
Private group.
Yes, that's right.
How are you feeling inside of yourself right now, being here?
Pumped up for the ball game, like a Redskin quarterback 15 minutes before the kickoff.
Later, Jim said that the police motorcycle signalled the start of the big shutdown. He said an hour later we wouldn't have got near the place.